refuses to drive to the big store out by the highway. She always shops at the little market in town, though she doesn't buy much anymore. Vera Penny, as always, is perched by the register. Vera tells Mrs. Chandler that she's got some good brie today. Mrs. Chandler asks, "Is it really good?" "Yes," Vera says, "it's very good." On the plate glass, the first drops of rain appear. "Look at that," Vera says. "It started." And that's when Mrs. Chandler, elegantly dressed Mrs. Chandler, looks out the window into years ago. There's more to the story, usually there is, but I'm drawn lately to the moments before a story becomes a story, like opening stage directions. Take The Cherry Orchard. It begins, a room which is still known as the nursery. One of the doors leads to Anya's room. Half light, shortly before sunrise. It is May already. The audience, still shifting in their seats, tucking away their programs, never hears these lines. They are never spoken out loud. It's a beginning whispered only to a reader. A woman stands in a store holding an onion. She looks out the window and sees a life that's gone. In the life, her husband and son used to meet her at the train station. I can't remember if she can see the station from where she's standing or not. I'm not sure it matters. All that's in the distance. The narrator tells us, with annoying omniscience, that no one will ever desire Mrs. Chandler again, love her like that again. But, again, that's the story becoming the story. A sad, sadly predictable story. And what I want right now are only these opening notes. The cheese that's very good, the first few drops of rain on the plate glass. Look at that. It started. 3. During the Second World War, my mother's father was in the civil defense. This was in Fall River, Massachusetts. He carried a gun not much bigger than a cap gun. His responsibility was to make sure his fellow Fall Riverites had their windows properly blacked out. He would walk the streets of his own neighborhood, from Robeson Street to Dudley Street to Highland Avenue, and hunt for light. They wouldn't send him overseas. He was 4F, back trouble, feet as flat as paper plates. My mother told me he'd painted an old leather football helmet silver and would practice a stern, authoritative face in the bathroom mirror. And if, on his nightly rounds, he spotted a crack of light beyond the blackout curtains, he'd march up to the door, knock on it with 4 authoritative knuckles, and inform the violators in no uncertain terms that they were aiding and abetting the Luftwaffe by providing an opportunity, a target, a beacon. Am I being understood? Grandpa Freddy was a mild-mannered guy, but give a man a gun, no matter how miniature, and something to enforce, and he'll lug the weight of the world across quiet lawns. Though he'd never gone to college, my Fall River grandparents were 17 when they eloped, and Freddie went right to work. He considered himself a bit of a pointy head. On my shelf, I have his dog-eared Shakespeare's collected works, print so small he must have needed a microscope to read it. Still, on many of the pages, there are notations in the margin, notes to himself. His faded handwriting, now unreadable. My grandfather makes his rounds. I think of him, walking his streets, murmuring happily, a Jewish Othello with a bad back. Put out the light, and then put out the light. He really did enjoy those urgent, whispered porch conversations. Not because he so enjoyed berating people or speechifying, but because, emerging out of the night to rap on the door of a silent house, he expected the door not only to be answered, but for the answerer to listen to him, Fred Kaplan, tell them what was what. Don't you see? That's what they're after, our light. We've got to hoard the light. Not forever, just now. Him in that goofball silver helmet, a little gun in his pocket. I have the thing here in a drawer. Freddie's paunch, his worn-out loafers. He worked in his father's furniture store. One day the store would be all his. Soon after that, in the 60s, the state of Massachusetts rammed a highway, I-195, through the downtown, like a stake through the heart of Fall River. Entire block.